Hello, my name's Lori. I'm 55 years old, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of my best tips for mature skin and makeup. I've got 7 coming up for you. Tip number 1, if you haven't made the switch to cream makeup yet, you need to do so. Tip number 2, you may need to change up your brushes a little bit. With mature skin, some of my favorite brushes are right here. We have the buff brush. Our skin, it's wiggly. We have like really wiggly skin. And so if you take something too soft, you're not going to actually be able to get the product in the wrinkles. One right here, which is the blush and bronzer brush. I love this side to really like feather it in, but this side is the magic side. Again, because it's stiffer, it actually buffs really well. My all-time favorite is the detail brush, especially if you're new to contouring. If you are using too soft of a brush for the contour, it's not going to move the product around. The cream contour is thicker, and it's made that way so that you can actually place it and it stays there. Tip number 3, contour. Contour is what gives your face a lift. We need that when we get older. Our skin starts to sag a little bit and we need to lift everything back up again. And nothing is more powerful than taking a contour on the detail brush and tapping it nice and high, okay? Placement is going to matter for you if you have aging skin because everything's falling. You actually want to lift everything back up again. And then always on your cheeks, blend up. Keep the contour out of the hollowness here, but don't forget with contour, lift that jowl back up. Contouring right on the places that are sagging. Tip number 4, if you go too light right on the texture or the wrinkles, then it's only going to create more texture. Remember, as we get older, you do not want to be layering tons and tons of product under your eyes. You just want to give the brightness where it needs to be and then skip those other areas. So taking your brightening shade, bringing it out here on the corner will help lift that eye up, and then taking the brightener right here and even just placing it right on the darkness, but keep that bright stuff out from there. Trust me on this one. You do not want to go too light right under here. You will be putting your main shade everywhere else, but just use that extra pop, inner corner, outer corner to give the lift. Tip number 5, demi color correctors may be the answer to your prayers. If you deal with really dark under eye bags or age spots, you are going to want to get familiar with demi color correctors. You want to make sure and get the correct brush for the demi color correctors. This is the spot brush. This is the bright brush. You are using demi. It is important that you're using the correct color on the area that is dark, okay? So make sure you talk to your artist about that. Get a demi color corrector for the areas that maybe you're feeling like you're just not quite getting that extra pop that you want. Tip number 6, eyeshadow. When we get older, many times if you take and put dark colors where you used to put them, now all of a sudden it looks like you have a black eye. Make the switch to colors that are a little bit more medium colors. I love chai. Chai is like excellent and pop. We have Havana, Paris. Stay in that medium depth, and I promise you, you'll be a little bit happier. When you're applying your medium color, make sure, especially if you have a hooded eye, you have your brush tilted upwards like this, lightly, making sure you're bringing that color up high enough on the hood, okay? When you have a hooded eye, meaning this area is dipping further down over your eyelid here, you're going to want to like put the color up on that. That's going to shrink it and pull it back. You're choosing something with a little bit more shimmer. This one is Everest. I love it. Your artist will know exactly what color you should use. If you go too sparkly, sometimes it shows texture. but I will never tell you that you cannot wear sparkle, because I believe that it's all about placement. Where you place those shimmers is going to make a difference for you if you have aging and mature eyes. Tip number 7, setting your cream makeup. When you have aging and mature skin, using a bunch of powder, especially underneath your eyes, is not going to be good for you. I love using my Stay Setting Spray under my eyes, and I can apply it with my damp Perfector sponge. Just spritz it right on to my Perfector sponge like this, and then I can go in and dab, okay? Dab, dab, dab underneath my eyes, instead of using powder, which will dry dehydrate. It may look good for a minute, but about 15 minutes later, all of a sudden your under eye is going to be all dehydrated, and all you're going to see are the wrinkles and creases and crevices, and that's not a good look. Keep in mind that you are never too old to learn how to do makeup, and the cool part about this makeup is it was made for beginners. So if you've never contoured, don't be afraid to try. It will give your face a nice lift, and because of the cream, it's going to look healthy and dewy and beautiful. So give it a try. What do you have to lose?